everybody, and welcome to T2 Challenge Season 2. I am Mark Thompson, along with the High Performance Director of USA Table Tennis. That's Sean O'Neill, ready for another one of our regional matchups. The 15th of 16. We're at the California Table Tennis Center in Rosemead, California, for a big matchup between ZHANG Xiangjing and Kai Zhang. Big matchup for Team Omega, who is down right now 12-8 in the team standings. It is a team event at regional, Sean, a very important match for ZHANG Xiangjing to support his Team Omega teammates in their effort to come from behind.
Mark, we've got two offensive-minded players going at it tonight. Look for Kai Zhang, monstrous forehands, loves to step around the backhand side, and then Xiangjing, power on both sides, but also tries to get his forehand going.
This is the second time we've seen Kai Zhang in the T2 rules and circumstances. He played back in Season 1 when he took on Tom Feng in a great matchup that went 7 games. Had a couple of fast fives before it was resolved. Don't know that we're going to get that type of action this afternoon here, Sean, but it'll be interesting to see how ZHANG Xiangjing handles Kai Zhang.
And you can see right out of the back, Mark, both players stepping around, forcing their forehand into play. This is something we'll see throughout the matches. Both players love to play a strong forehand.
First point does go to Kai Zhang, and the second one goes to ZHANG Xiangjing. Great shot there. There's a little bit of that power as well, Sean.
Yeah, and both these players also have excellent serve returns. They like to keep it short, a lot of touch balls to set up their big forehands.
Well, that's a good example of touch right there. And into the net goes Xiangjing. So Kai Zhang with the early 2-1 lead here in Game 1. We're playing T2 rules. 24-minute clock is running. Any game started after the conclusion of that clock is a fast 5.
That's an unforced error there by Kai Zhang. He really needs to pay attention to not giving away any free points because both these players have so much firepower.
There's a little bit of that firepower as well, and Kai had difficulty handling that. 3-2 lead right now for Xiangjing. It's even back up as that ball goes long at the towel break here, as both of these young gentlemen currently living in Southern California. Kai Zhang, last time we saw him, Sean, he was living up in New York, but he's now moved to Southern California on the other side of the coast. And Xiangjing's from Temple City, California.
Yes, Kai Zhang has always been known as the kind of the Westchester boy playing out of the Westchester Club, which we've been so fortunate to have as a partner in T2, as well as we'll be using them in the singles finals. But everyone on the East Coast really cheers for Kai Zhang. He's a great personality, works really hard, and now is going to school in Southern California.
It was a beautiful backhand that time by Kai Zhang. Unable to handle it with Xiangjing. He has the serve at 4-4. Oh, what a great point that was for Kai Zhang and Xiangjing, as Xiangjing was able to get the ball back on the table several times, deep off the camera, for crying out loud. But Kai did pack that one away ultimately.
Kai did an exceptional job of just staying patient, not overplaying the ball when he had the easy opportunity. Oh, what a backhand explosion there by Xiangjing. Tremendous force cross-court for the winner.
And Xiangjing is USA TT rating 2651. That is 7 points below Kai Zhang, who's at 2658 right now. His USA TT rating.
And all these T2 matches do count for ratings, so a little bit extra on the line in addition to a lot of prize money.
It was a good backhand-to-backhand exchange between the two, and Kai with the 6-5 lead. Big swing and a miss there. Evens things back up at 6 apiece here in Game 1. Of course, playing a best-of-7 match. And as noted, if any game starts after the conclusion of the 24-minute clock in T2, that goes to fast 5. And those are always fun, Sean. It's first person to 5 with no deuce involved either.
And I definitely like the no deuce in the beginning games as well. It makes it that much more exciting at 10-10. So we're getting close to the end of this one. We'll see what transpires.
It was a good serve that time by Xiangjing to take the 7-6 lead.
Little risky there by Xiangjing, playing that first forehand out to Kai's forehand. I mean, that's playing right into Kai's strength. Probably be smarter to play a little bit more into the body or possibly into that backhand corner.
Another swing and a miss by Kai, and Xiangjing with the lead once again at 8-7. Gotta love the way Kai, though. He's not afraid to swing at it, that's for sure.
There's one speed. It's just full out. Oh, beautiful server turn there by Xiangjing.
Now opens up his first 2-point lead of the game. That's a net serve. Good attack that time by Kai on the return of serve to draw back within 1 here in game 1.
Kai putting a lot of pressure on Xiangjing. Very smart move off of these short serves. He's trying to really force that first ball into the body.
Shot went into the net, so it's 9-9 here in game 1. Serve back to Kai Zhang. Now, Xiangjing with game point here in game 1 at 10-9. Serve remains with Kai Zhang.
Once again, the short touch returns. Very good move by Kai to make sure that his ball doesn't go off the end, because we know what Xiangjing is capable of. And now we are in a 10-10, 1 point for the first game.
High toss serve there, hit the net. Oh, and off the top of the net and out off Xiangjing's paddle. And it is an 11-10 win in game 1 for Kai Zhang in a come-from-behind fashion. Down by 2 late in the game at 9-7. He was able to battle back and win game 1.
And almost a little bit of a steal here. Looked like Xiangjing had things under control at the end of the game, but Kai just continued to put pressure on, took the attack away, and then here comes that big forehand across the body.
So Kai Zhang playing for Team Alpha, who is in somewhat of a command with respect to the team standings in the regional matchup right now. Sean, it's 12-8 at 1 point after week 11 of T2 Challenge Season 2. Team Omega was in the lead at 8-7. That was after the victory by Nikhil Kumar over Angie Tan, but 3 wins in a row by Team Alpha has got them up right now and pretty much in command of the way things stand. We talk about the team standing simply because it is the team and the team members who win the regionals who will advance to the finals, which, as you noted, are going to be played at the Westchester Table Tennis Center.
I mean, this season 2 has really been weeks of momentum back and forth with Alpha and Omega really going at it right from the start, with both teams having leads and making nice comebacks.
Players do switch sides here under the relaxed standards that we have now in America, thankfully, as we get a handle on the COVID pandemic.
Kai having a little bit of difficulty with his serve. I think he's trying to really load it up. And that ball just jumped off his paddle a little bit.
Like an unforced error there by Kai on the backhand into the net, a 2-1 lead for Xiangjing.
Oh, and that's a nice slow spinny backhand followed by just a backhand rip by Kai Zhang. Excellent play.
Yeah, no unforced error there. That was a bullet.
Lucky break there by Kai. That ball hit the net. Very difficult to determine how much spin remains on the ball when one of those heavy top spins touches the net and slows down.
Xiangjing reacted well, but just put it in the net.
Oh,
Oh,
great backhand there by Kai Jung. Took that second one right off the bounce. I thought the first one was great, but the second one was even better.
and he did a good job of changing sides of the table as well on that, Sean, as the first one went to the backhand side, then drilled it down the forehand side.
Oh, beautiful drop shot off of the serve. Really excellent placement out to the wide forehand. Xiangjing really had nothing to work with.
Oh, another strong backhand there by Kai, and unable to handle it with Xiangjing. Now a 6-2 lead here in game 2 for Kai Zhang.
Kai's just been on fire with that backhand side. You can see a little bit of the frustration with Xiangjing. Right now, Kai's putting pressure both from his forehand in game 1, but now from the backhand side, really giving Xiangjing no place to go with the ball. Oh, how Xiangjing returned that bullet loop, I will not know. Somehow he got his forehand on that ball and it came back faster.
That's
like
just pure
ricochet.
instinct right there. That just put it out there and hope, but he got the result he wanted. Oh, another great point that time. Couple of slams by Xiangjing, and Kai Zhang dug it out, but not the last one. Now drawing within 3 again is Xiangjing.
Again, very nice up to the table net play. Good touch on the serve return, really trying to take away that first attack of the opponent.
3 straight points here by Xiangjing has him back in game 2, within 2.
That ball just clipped the top of the net. Xiangjing trying to give Kai a little bit of his own medicine by going for that quick backhand right off the serve return.
Oh, big blast that time by Kai. Kind of stepped around and went deep to the backhand corner, and now has a 9-6 lead here in game 2, up 1 game to none.
Again, very smart by Kai Zhang, just taking his time, getting that soft, easy backhand, but the placement was exceptional, right into the middle of Xiangjing.
Xiangjing getting a bit of a bad break again off the top of the net and long. Of course, game point here for Kai Zhang in game 2. Doesn't convert on the first opportunity. Now 10-7, another one for Kai Zhang. And now drawing within 2 again is Xiangjing. A nice backhand there that got by Kai Zhang. 10-8 here in game 2. Serve comes across to Xiangjing. You get the feeling, Sean, very important sequence of points here for Xiangjing.
Absolutely. He needs to get back into this match right now. He doesn't want to give a spot Kai Zhang a 2-game lead.
Oh,
what a great
shot.
That was outstanding by Xiangjing on the forehand to take that down the line in a great toe-to-toe exchange.
And once again, ringing off 3 consecutive points is Xiangjing to draw within 1 here in game 2. but unable to convert on that one, and it's 11-9 victory for Kai Zhang. It looked like that one just missed on the edge of the table, Sean.
Xiangjing trying his best to stay away from the forehand and tries to go extremely wide into the backhand and just misses by the narrowest of margins with that backhand off the bounce.
Yeah, you could tell he was intentionally trying to drop it onto that backhand side and just missed. Body language just spoke volumes there for Xiangjing, who now finds himself down 2-0 here at the California Table Tennis Center in Rosemead, California. I want to thank all of our clubs that have participated in T2 Challenge Season 2, including California Table Tennis, who, of course, is run by the great Gao Jun, who is one of our national team coaches. And I know she's got a lot going on right now, and we thank her for being a part of this project as well, Sean.
Yeah, it's just been so much fun to work with the various clubs across the country, from Ohio to North Carolina to Texas and then to New York, as well as the Bay Area. Now we're down in Southern California.
And we don't want to forget our good friends at Triangle Badminton Table Tennis in Mooresville, North Carolina. They had a good match there as well, with one of the players that qualified for your national team in ZHANG Liang, who played there at Triangle in the T2 Challenge Season 2.
It'll be interesting, Mark, to see if Xiangjing tries to ramp up the power, tries to go for more risky shots, or if he tries to settle down and maybe focus more on placement and just keeping the attack away from Kai's forehand.
He ripped that backhand, but it went long, and it's 1-1 here in Game 3. Kai Zhang with the serve up 2-0.
As we mentioned earlier, Kai Zhang really has one mode of play, super hard on every single shot. Here comes a big forehand that goes into the net, but expect that. And I think so far, Mark, that his serve return has really been the difference. He's been very aggressive on Xiangjing's serve and putting a lot of pressure right off the first shot. Goes for a winner on that one, and that goes long.
And Xiangjing with his largest lead of the match at 4-1 here in Game 3.
Once again, Kai Zhang with a blistering backhand loop after returning a very solid forehand by Xiangjing. Just amazing balance to stay within that point.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sean. To recover off of hitting a forehand that hard to get to the backhand side at all was brilliant. He hit a great shot.
Very aggressive there on the serve. Kai is really looking to get that forehand into play as quickly as possible on every point.
Now he has battled his way back to even here at 4 apiece in Game 3 after being down 4-1. So 3 consecutive points for Kai Zhang. And now Xiangjing will try to kind of regroup here in Game 3.
Kai would like to have that one back. He set it up beautifully with a nice drop shot off the serve. Look for him to continue to use these tactics just to be the first looper in each point. Again, excellent play, Mark. What Kai does is he plays that first ball with a little bit of control, and then he speeds up the second one, adding a little bit more spin and pace. Really makes it tough for Xiangjing to deal with that change in tempo. Again, Kai going for a little bit too much, wanting to put the ball away before he got his feet under him. Now trails by 2.
Kai Zhang's one of those players, Sean, when he is on, he's almost impossible to beat because he just does nothing but goes for everything, goes for the fences on every swing. If he's a little bit off, that's when his game has significant difficulty.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. And I've spoken to Kai on numerous occasions, especially after big tournaments. And he always says, how come sometimes I play so good, then other times I don't play so well? And I think it has to do with the fact that he's going for the fences so often and doesn't leave much margin of error.
He's drawn back to even again here in game 3, up 2-0, as he's twice been down by 3 points here in game 3. But Kai Zhang showing the fighter spirit, back to even at 7s.
Oh, once again, what an amazing backhand by Kai Zhang. Just pulls it out of nowhere after a very pretty series of attacks, just brings that backhand, that cross-court delivery very strong.
And Xiangjing did a good job of hanging in that time, but he was definitely on the defensive for the entire point. Not on the defensive there, however. Quite offensive.
The firepower that both these players have. I mean, just when you think they can't get their forehand into play, they bring it on the backhand side with a lot of spin, speed, and placement. Risky shot there by Xiangjing, but it paid off as Kai had a swing at it, but unable to bring it down onto the table.
Yeah, he took himself out of the play with the big swing down the side of the table, but fortunately for him, Kai Zhang couldn't handle it. Now Xiangjing with the 9-8 lead.
Oh, great backhand over the table by Kai Zhang. Very solid. Again, right into the body, taking a serve that looked a little bit high. Wasn't particularly like an inch or two high, but just a little bit, maybe a couple millimeters, but Kai jumped right on top of that.
Kai's leading 2-0, but that doesn't really indicate how close this match has been, Sean, since the opening serve.
And I would say that Xiangjing has probably overall played a little bit more consistent, but Kai's playing the big points just like he did in season 1. He has a knack for that, winning the points that matter most.
He's now got game point again to go up 3-0 with the serve. Oh, and off the net, and again out for Xiangjing, and it is a 3-0 lead for Kai Zhang with the 11-9 victory.
And Kai going with his serve, just trying to get that forehand in, and Xiangjing's forehand loop that he stepped around and just caught the top of the net. We've seen this happen time and time again with just a little bit of shot, a little bit of luck here, a little bit of luck there, but Kai Zhang with a very commanding 3-game lead.
Sean, that's a good point. In this sport and in many sports, it is just, the matter of a bounce, the matter of a millimeter or a fraction of a millimeter that makes the difference. And we've seen that with Xiangjing. I mean, he's down 3-0, but this match has been much closer than a 3-0 lead for Kai Zhang. And Xiangjing has had an opportunity to win each of those 3 games, but has been off just by fractions of millimeters on very important points. I thought you made a really good point about Kai Zhang, is that when the point is big, he plays better. That's something that I think I've seen as well out of course, the number 1 player in America, Kanak Jia as well. When the point is big, they play their best, and that may be an indicator of how a person's going to perform on the international stage.
No, absolutely. And I think that both these players being such a mirror image of each other, you really have to kind of give the edge to the person willing to take a little bit more of the risk, a little bit more aggressive, especially on the openings, because it really sets the table for who's going to be able to keep the attack going.
Now Xiangjing with an early 2-0 lead here after a really nice forehand there that Kai Zhang could not handle.
A great block there by Xiangjing, just took it right off the bounce. Kai did a nice job of stepping around the backhand, but he went right into a bulldozer of a backhand down the line.
No, you can tell by Kai's reaction, just missed it off the edge of the paddle, and now is down 4-0 here in game 4.
And again, just a little bit too much power. Kai trying to put a little extra on it. When you're trailing, that's not unusual to try to hit a shot that might give you the feel of like getting back into the game by putting some extra power on it.
Xiangjing with his largest lead of the match at 5-0 here in game 4.
There was a little bit of a difficulty there, Mark, as Kai was back against the barrier, back against the pipe and drape. One of the balls from the previous point was right by his feet. I wonder how that kind of hurt his focus there. But Xiangjing is doing a great job here in game 4. And oh, there's a, right as I say it, you know that what's going to happen on the other side of the net is that Kai is going to deliver one of his blistering backhand loops off the bounce.
Another good example, Sean, of working both sides of the table on that backhand as well for Kai Zhang. Went backhand, then the forehand side was a brilliant shot.
Great serve, right on the white line on the second bounce. Xiangjing unable to get a full swing on it. But Kai has been the master of the comeback so far in each one of these games tonight.
And now, drawing within 3 again is Kai Zhang. Of course, the 24-minute clock under T2 rules has run. So the next games that we see, games that we see, will be fast fives, provided that Xiangjing is able to win this game 4.
A very nice serve there by Xiangjing. Again, going for the reverse pendulum serve, just added a little bit of extra topspin. Kai didn't read it fully. That ball popped off the end of the table. Xiangjing realizing he needs to get out after stepping under the table for those next shots very quickly. Kai really puts a lot of pressure on that first and second ball. There's a nice backhand opening with some power behind it.
Very difficult shot to handle. And now within 2 again is Kai Zhang with the serve coming across to Xiangjing. Trying to stay alive here in game 4, down 3-0.
Excellent ball position there by Xiangjing. Kai tried to play a backhand over on the forehand side, but Xiangjing had just played it a little bit wider, which took away all the angle from Kai Zhang. Looks like he wants to stay in that same position on the follow-up serve.
And now with game point, his first of the match. Well, I shouldn't say that because actually in game 1 it was 10-10 at one point. So Xiangjing here trying to close out Kai Zhang in game 4. Staving off 1 game point is Kai Zhang to draw within 3, still with the serve.
Oh, again, that great backhand off the bounce. No hesitation. Just a complete rocket.
Another good example of important points and Kai Zhang coming up with big shots. Still down by 2, however, and the serve comes across to Xiangjing. We have to close it out here.
Net serve.
That was a great serve that time, I thought, by Xiangjing, but an excellent return by Kai Zhang. It was just so deep, and somehow Kai was able to react and get that thing back on the table.
Just picked it up right off the bounce. Excellent job.
Oh, what a shot by Kai Zhang. Beautiful step around forehand loop down the line to draw to even at 10-10. 3 straight points, and now the opportunity with match point is Kai Zhang and the serve. And he converts on a brilliant backhand down the line, Sean. What a great shot.
I mean, this whole match has been just a series of great winners, and Kai Zhang able to come from behind once again, and they get into a tremendous backhand exchange right off the bounce every shot until Kai pulls the trigger and goes down the line to the open court. What an amazing shot to win the match.
You know, that's a 4-game, actually 2-point victory for Team Alpha. But that match was a lot closer than you would have imagined. It makes it 14-8 now and makes it virtually impossible for Team Omega to beat Team Alpha in the team standings. So we know going to the finals, it will be Team Alpha. But that game was a lot closer, Sean, than it appeared.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to give MVP right now to Kai Zhang for the ability to get 2 critical points to extend that lead to where now Team Alpha will be making the finals of the T2 Season 2, but just amazing set of backhands throughout this match. I mean, both players with so much firepower, but Kai Zhang really brought it when he needed to do it the most.
It's been a great regionals, but we got one more to go. The 16th of the 16 regional matchups. It'll be Udaya Ranasinghe taking on Ted Lee here at the California Table Tennis Center in our next matchup. That'll be an interesting matchup. It won't have any impact on who ends up going to the final, Sean, but we look forward to that matchup, get an opportunity to see Ted Lee again.
And definitely 2 different styles, very exciting players, always fun to see new players in the T2 series. Should be a great match.
All right, so Kai Zhang takes ZHANG Xiangjing in 4 straight games, an extremely close, hard-fought battle here at California Table Tennis. For Sean O'Neill, the High Performance Director at USA Table Tennis, I'm Mark Thompson. Have a great evening, everybody.